Greetings, Summoners, and welcome back to Sky Kingdoms. Today we are tackling the Tuesday quest, Nemesis of the Monster. I think that's a bad translation. Nemesis of the Monster. Okay, well, this quest takes place at server reset for the individual quest and server reset for the guild quest. For my time zone, it's Tuesday afternoon is when if you kill one monster for the individual quest, you get credit for the guild quest as well. It's the same event, it overlaps. So for the Tuesday monster kill event, which is what I like to call it, here is the most important stuff, because these videos tend to get a little long-winded because there's a lot of explanation and math and sources and proof I have to show. I want to give the most important stuff up front, and if you want to stick around for the fun stuff later, that comes more at the end of the video. So first things first, if you want to get the most out of the monster kill event, you need to kill level 13 monsters over and over and over and over, as much as you can, with as many commanders as you can, with as many troops as you can. That is absolutely the truth for Ark of War. But in Sky Kingdoms, most people don't have an army that's capable of killing level 13 monsters. They're out here, they exist, but level 15 is the highest, I think. They haven't even introduced level 20 monsters yet. So most people aren't even able to kill the level 13 monsters, let alone without doing it. Most people that could kill it can't do it without taking losses, and you don't want to lose a bunch of troops along the way. So if you can't, you should probably use your commanders to kill as many troops as you can without losing troops at all. Well, because this is a new account and this is early game, I've gone ahead and trudged through the trenches, if you will, and tried it out myself to see what really works. So here's what I've come up with. They start you off with tier 3 airships, 3 tier 3 mage airships. Everyone starts with that. If you still have your shamans, they're shamans, you can do really well by just using every commander you have to grab them, auto load. Now see, mine are gone, I only have 2, otherwise it auto loads for you. You go there and there, you put 3 up front, confirm, doesn't matter what's in the back, the 3 up front should be able to kill it, and you should go to explore 118. And you should never lose a tier 3 airship if you do 118. You could do it over and over and over and over. And when you do, you're going to kill 5 imps and 5 Pkwy Auritus. That sounds like a scientific name. Anyway, you get points for killing each one of these monsters. Now, let's talk about the points. Okay, so here's the quest. You get points for killing 1 tier 1 infantry. Now, they don't want to give you the same name as a tier 1 infantry troop. Right, the tier 1 infantry troop is actually called Knight. Well, the monster version of the tier 1 infantry troop is called Skeleton Minion. Okay, so just that's what it is. So it goes in sets of 3. The Skeleton Minion, the Crocodile, and the Pkwy Auritus are all tier 1. So it goes infantry, mech, airship. Easy enough, right? Then you go down to the imps, which is tier 2. The imp, furnace, and phantom is tier 2. Easy enough. Red-Eye Devil is tier 3. Mage Furnace is tier 3. Evil Spirit is tier 3. All the way down to Hellwalkers, Destructors, Skeletal Mages, which is tier 4. If you kill tier 5 enemies, you do not get points. That means killing monster 15 and 20, even though it's a harder monster and harder troops, you do not get points for this event. So, level 13 monster has the highest troops, the highest points per kill if you can kill a 13 monster. But if you can't, kill everything else below it. And you say, well, how do I get, is there any troops that, if there are any explorers or monsters that give more points than more difficult ones? And the answer is no. It's not that way. There are gaps where, like, all of a sudden, if you go to the next tier, they're worth a lot more points. So we're going to talk about that, which means we go to a spreadsheet. I know people hate spreadsheet videos, but this is an information channel. This is a learning channel, and we got to have facts. So that's where we're going next. Let's jump over to there, and then we'll come back to the game, and I'll show you real scouts to verify that knowledge. So we'll jump right there. Here we go. Okay, so this is the big spreadsheet. Don't get too worried about it yet. In the top left corner, we have the name of the monsters. These are the Ark of War monster names. They translate exactly the same over. And then this right here, this stage 1-1. Oh, there we go. Stage 1-1. Oh, you know what? I don't have it downloaded. So stage 1-1 is literally Explore 1-1, and you get 2 experience for killing the 2 monsters there. Explore 1, 2. This is the total experience you get for killing all the troops. Assuming you kill them all. You do have to kill the troops. You can't just win the match. You have to kill all the troops along the way. So what you'll see is this is their total point value. And from starting at 1, you get 2, 6, 16, 24, 48, 54, 72, 84, 123. At that point, see 110? 110 is actually not as good as 19. 19 actually scores more points. So very rare does that happen. But then you keep going down, keep going down. 118, you get 225 points. If you can do 120, which most people can with a little bit of gear and all your basic troops, you can do 300. Now remember, 118 and 120 are used for farming your headpiece, your dodge head, which is what you should be doing anyway. So if you can farm 120, farm 120 instead. If you can't, do 118. But those two you can farm like crazy for the highest amount of points with just the shaman, and you can get all of your commanders through it. And you have 16 commanders, or probably 10 commanders or so, and you want to use all their energy because it respawns every 30 minutes, and you don't want to just let them sit there and not get their points if you're trying to do well in this event. And you should, because it's worth gold. But if you look at 121, the experience increases more than double. And the reason is because the troops jump to tier 3. Tier 3 troops are a lot harder to kill, and they will kill your other tier 3 units. So if you want to get the most bang for your buck and you're still low B, you're still on tier 3, tier 4, tier 3, then do 118. Now you can look at the rest of this list and decide, okay, where else can I do this without taking losses, and figure out what's best for you. As a general rule, it's okay to take your main or your top 3 commanders and lose some troops. Fight it out, choose the proper matchup. If you have Walker tier 3, go against Infantry tier 3, something like that. You'll lose a few troops, but it's worth it just to get the points started. I wouldn't recommend doing that with all your commanders. It can get expensive, but certainly your main commanders that have the most leadership, that can do the most damage. Okay, so that's pretty much that. Now, if you look closely, you can explore all the way to 330 and actually score 77,000 points on 330. That's a lot of points for exploring. The problem with explore is it takes your screen up. You can't attack with 4 commanders at the same time if your screen is dedicated to explore. That's why people attack monsters. And you say, well, Melt, what are monsters worth? And I say, that's a good question. Well, as it turns out, monsters are about, at monster 11, it is less than 330. So monster 11 is worth 63,000 points. I can't see it there, but it's an infantry walker troop type, and it's worth 63,000, which is just about 327. Monster 11 also has a guaranteed hit and will kill your troops, while 327 will not. 327, you can just use all dodge gear and you don't have to worry about losing troops to him. So I never recommend killing tier 11 or monster 11 unless you super overkill it and don't worry about it, and you won't lose troops. We're not at that point yet in Sky Kingdoms. But after explore, go for monsters 12 and 13. Monster 12 is worth 93,000 points. Monster 13 is worth 141,000 points. A tremendous amount. So whenever you see anyone get a really high score on the Nemesis, it's because they're killing monsters 12 and 13. But for the rest of us, we're probably stuck on Explore until we get to that level in Sky Kingdoms. I know I'm going to look back on this video and go like, oh yeah, back when I had a noob account. But that's what's important on this information here. You can look at it, and you'll notice at 215 to 216, you could tell where Tier 3 becomes Tier 4. Tier 2 becomes Tier 3. It's something like that, but the experience goes way up. So whenever that does that, so does the difficulty. So do whatever you're comfortable with losing. If you don't want to lose anything, just do 118 or 120, and you should do really well there. Let's talk about the tiles real quick. You also get, of course, points for killing enemies that are on tiles when you're farming, and it turns out they're not very good. Level 5 tiles still have Tier 1 on them, so if you're not sure what you should be farming and you just don't want to scout everything, just know that level 5 is safe. Level 5 is right here. Let me see. No, that's 3-3. What is that? Yeah, level 5 is 30 leadership commander of airships, mage air. So those three units per slot. That's 30 total. Very easy to kill. Almost as easy as a tier 2 tile, you know. So everyone should be able to do that with any of their commanders, and you should always be farming level 4 or level 5 mines, even at the beginning of the game. You should never be farming 1, 2s, and 3s. Go straight for 4s and 5 with your tier 2 troops, and you'll do just fine. Once you go from a tier 5 tile to a tier 6, and I know this is kind of changing from the monster farm video to like tile farming, but I'm going to tie that back here in a second. So We're going to get there. Just a second. Now, tier 5. Here we go. Let's go. Right there. That's a level 13 monster. No. For some reason, it doesn't say what you scouted. It just says monster. Even a tile is called a monster. So, here we go. This is, if you look here, tier 3. 60 units per slot in front. That's level 8. Level 5 is just a 30 leadership airship commander. Level 8 is a, what was that? It was so much. It's so ridiculous. You'll accidentally kill your whole army if you march into that thing. Was it tier 3? This one. Okay, so it's the difference is this is a 300 leadership. So it goes up 3 levels, and all of a sudden it's 10 times as powerful. So be mindful of that. You don't really get much more for farming a level 8 tile versus a level 5 tile. So if you can take it, go for it. But you're probably better off using 7 tiles and 6 tiles once you have, tier 3. But 5 is also pretty darn good. They're just hard to find, of course, like everything else. This one is interesting because this is a tile, and it doesn't give points. The level 12 Dragon Nest tile are used for Shadow Matter and Arc of War. Similar in this game, but not the same. They're actually tier 5. You see that? Tier 5 does not give points for the monster kill event. I just thought I'd point that out. And then tier 4, of course, does, which is a level 15 village. So you can still get points by farming the 15 village if you want to hit it over and over and over. Okay, there is the level 15 tile. It is tier 4, and it is 18 units times 40 leadership. What is that, like almost 800 leadership? So 720 leadership commander with tier 4 mixed slots, which is a very difficult setup early game because that rock, paper, scissors matchup is hard to match. So, it's not really worth to farm it points-wise because you're just not going to get a lot of value there. So if you really want to farm for points, you can do it in Explore. I don't recommend farming tiles over and over and over. You can hit monsters as well. But that's pretty much the monster kill event. Your commanders start off with about 10 energy, so it takes about 4.5 hours for them to fully restore all their energy. So if you just want to score a bunch of points, you don't have to be a top boss on your server. You don't have to have the highest, most expensive troops. All you got to do is take your commander, put your tier 3 up front, go to 118, and spend 30 minutes every 5 hours with all your commanders. And just get all the experience and points you need to score in that event. It's a good event. It's a good way to get gold. You're going to get warps out of it. You're going to get event items as events get more varied as time go on. But that's something you need to know, and I hope that helps you. If I missed anything in this video, and I know there's a lot to this video, put it in the comments below. I try to come back and add things so I don't have to make a new video. So that covers it. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Melt, and remember, peace is bad for business.